Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version, sorry, I keep on doing that. It's been made. There's no more updates. If you want to help them with other projects, Patreon, $3 a month. Okay, me? Remember that, even though we got, well, a little bit more maybe, and then one more route. So, on the last Let's Play, we found Jenna, and, well, we finished being attacked by a smoke monster. Jenna came into this area because she was looking at all of the town for TJ, who attacked her, and... You know, when we had the letter, we were able to go through this door into a wood cabin, which has a bunch of people in the distance dancing around a bonfire, and then something. But now something's going to happen? Who knows? We ran out of time last time, and I was like, well, we're just going to see what happens in the next couple of seconds. Reset face. And begin. What was that? Well, Carl glances at Jenna. The drumbeat sounds kind of native, don't you think? He's clearly waiting for Jenna to confirm. Maybe. There's an awkward silence before Carl coughs. Well, let's think. The music in this game sometimes is kind of funny where it's like, hey, we're in this alternate dimension where things are trying to kill us. Let's just have this chill music. Well, let's think. We weren't able to get out of the mansion until we found that letter, right? He looks at me. Yeah. I respond automatically. Well, if that's the case, then maybe we have to find something in here, right? I guess that makes sense, but what are we supposed to find? Another letter? Probably not news. I don't know. What would exonerate or something like that? You would think it would be another letter. Yeah, didn't somebody tell you about finding something that would open the door? Yeah, I think that makes sense. That whoever set this up would do it the same way, right? Like somebody's gonna set it up. Just the ghost of James Hendricks or whatever being like, okay, we're gonna make a mansion here, and then we're gonna have this little twirly thing, and there's gonna be a smoke monster, but there's also gonna be a letter. I sigh and stop staring at the window, my back sore from the twisting motion. I sit straight upon the bench and look back into the cabin. Well, if we're supposed to find another letter, there's a bunch of places to hide it. Maybe we should try the door first? Jenna walks over to the door and looks it up and down before reaching out to slide back a rusty bolt. What? To his surprise, it moves, with only a little resistance. Are we sure we want to go out there? I mean, we don't know who is that running around. Jenna hesitates, then heaves back on the door, but it doesn't budge, not even an inch. Jenna sighs. Raven bounds up next to Jenna before enthusiastically yanking back on the handle as well. Again, the door holds fast. Holds. Of course. Jenna stares at the door for a moment before turning to us. Let's take a look around upstairs. If we're supposed to find something, then we should start from the top to bottom. Agreed. Carl bends down to pick me up, but I rest a paw on his shoulder. Wait, I don't want you to have to drag me everywhere, let alone up and down the stairs. He stops mid-stoop, his face level with mine as he looks at me. You sure? I don't really want to leave you alone down here. As I look back at him, I can't help but note the difference that I'd noticed earlier. His face has harder lines, his fur duller, eyes somehow deeper, wiser. You alright? I break out of my trance and blink. Yeah. I'll just stay down here and look around where I can. Jen and Raven already making the way up the stairs. Raven is going on about how his family used to live. They used to have their own log cabin. Alright, but shout if you need anything. I smile. At least, I feel like some parts of Carl are still familiar. After the ram heads up the stairs, I lean back on my little bench, lend my head tilt back as I close my eyes, hopefully not too close to the window. Just saying. Even in this new environment, everything is still feeling surreal. I've come to welcome the feeling, though. It's a nice little barrier to everything that's happening right now. In some ways, I can still pretend this is a dream. Hell, even now I'm thinking it's a dream, that I'm somehow stuck in one of my paralyses? Maybe in a hospital right now, and they're trying to figure out how to pull me out of it. That thought has me feeling like I'm being watched, and the fur prickles up around my neck. I guess it would be kind of awkward if all those doctors are watching me right now. Maybe Carl and Jenna are there too, and Leo, and Flynn, and TJ. The feeling gets stronger, so I turn back around to look out the window. It's still silent, and the lonely little flame in the distance continues to flicker around the rocks and sagebrush. It makes me wonder how endless this world is. If we were in some type of ghost dimension being manipulated by what are basically ghost gods, then will this whole ordeal be never-ending? You know, this kind of also makes me think of... Oh, what was that one game? Outer Wilds? Where it's like, hey, there's like different dimensional thingies and also like the nighttime realm kind of thing. The thought twists my stomach, so I stop thinking about it. I turn back around and force my eyes shut to start scanning the kitchen top to bottom, looking for something, anything that might stand out. I assume I'm looking for a letter. But again, if the rules are limitless in this world, then there's no telling what it might be that we're supposed to find next. I think about vocally asking James, or whoever the hell it is, for some help. Maybe some kind of hint at least, but there's no way I'm going to do that without the others with me. I'm thinking about pushing off the bench to start limping around the kitchen when a small scratching sound catches my attention. I hold still, then lean back, tilting my ear towards the sound. It's muffled, and a bit distant, but it's coming from directly to my left. It's happening on the outside of the cabin? Wait, is it? My fur prickles, and I think about Carl and Carl. I can hear the three of them stomping around, talking to each other in muffled voices from upstairs. I turn around again, this time a little more tentatively. The dancing bonfire continues to glow quietly, no other movement aside from the shadows. This time, the rustling sound comes from the same spot, and I instinctively turn my eyes in its direction. Carl? I raise my voice only a little bit, but the conversation carries on upstairs as if I hadn't said anything. I look up at the ceiling, then back out the window. The rustling sound continues, this time in earnest, as if something twists around in the brush. You know, if I was Chase, I'd be moving. Most likely crawling, because you can crawl on 3 legs. Or, 3 limbs. But, yeah. It's coming from just out of the view of the window, right at the base of the house. I hold my breath and lean forward, stretching my neck up to get a better angle and peer down into the darkness. Except that's a bad idea. It's really too dark to see much, or at least that's what I'm thinking. Almost as if it has its own glow. A bright, white face stares back at me from the darkness. My mind blanks and my body seizes up. And, just like that, I'm in a paralysis, forced to stare down at the white face, the black eyes. It's as if the thing is holding me in its gaze, but as it does, its features become more definable. I see tall ears, a long, pointy muzzle, a band of some type of things across thing's forehead. Stop it. Something says it very deliberately through their teeth, right in my ear. At the same time, the face flickers and fuzzies, like a TV picture with bad reception. The head twitches and shifts, then the muzzle opens, and the cackle that comes forth, it all at once is terrifying and familiar. At the same moment I realized. I'm realized? Oh, I'm released. I swear I can read English. It's my native language. My vocal cords start working at the same time, and I let out a scream as I fall backwards. I land on the wooden floor with a loud thud that shakes the pots and pans on the shelves. The room spins, and I feel like I'm coming right out of a dream, like I'd been sleeping for ages. The next thing I know is that I'm surrounded by the three faces of my friends, all looking down at me. Carl grabs me under my arms and pulls me into a seating position. His face worried, but there's something else too. Anger? What happened? I'm stunned by the abruptness, and I stammer through the answer. It was a face out the window. What did it say? Carl, what are you doing? Raven approaches the ram gently, his ears falling. Carl glances at the husky, then at Jenna, who's been silent so far, then back at me, slowly letting go. Sorry, I was just worried about you. What did you see? Did it say anything? It's weird that, he's like, did it say anything? Since, I don't know, it's a thingy. It takes me a moment to find my voice. No, it didn't say anything. Just laughed. Oh, it did say stop it. What did it look like? A fox, maybe? Had a band over its head. Carl's eyes narrow. Hey, I found something. We all look up at Raven as he holds a white piece of paper. What is that? Carl stands up, staring hard at the paper in Raven's hand. I don't know. Looks like a photocopy of a newspaper. Let's see. Raven turns towards the candle, sitting at the desk. Jenna stands behind him. A Seta boy missing after. Whoa. Raven flinches back as the paper catches fire, illuminating the entire cabin room. Her shadows dance across the log walls. The paper, which Raven had dropped, flutters to the floor, a tongue of an angry flame eating it up completely before it hits the floor. We all stare at the smoldering flake of ash on the ground. Raven, are you kidding me? I mean, to be fair, when you grabbed the letter, it also did catch fire. I'm not sure if this was like magical fire or fire. What? It wasn't even that close to the candle. That might have been what we needed. Dude. But Raven stares at his hands, looking forlornly between them and the candle, which seemed to flicker instantly on the table. I rest my face in my hands. Well, what do we do now? He wasn't near the candle. I pull my head out of my hands, not because of what Jen said, but because of the way she said it. Huh? I got a side angle here. You were at least 2 feet away. There's a brief silence. Jenna, what are you talking about? I don't know, Carl. What am I talking about? Jen turns to the ram, eyes narrowed, teeth slightly bared. I look at Carl. He's frowning, a concerned look on his face. Jenna, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm saying there's no way that candle burned that paper. Carl's concerned expression deepens, but there's also a hint of condescension there. What else could have done it, Jenna? Dude, literally, in the previous dimension, you grabbed a piece of paper or a letter and it caught fire. This time, the silence is heavy. I'm baffled by the interactions we've been having so far, and, judging by the look on Raven's face, so is he. Hey guys, I'm sorry I burned it, but maybe we can figure out something from the title? Masetta boy missing? I look at Jenna. Oh yeah, Masetta. Isn't that your tribe or... Yep. I feel my face flush, as I wonder if I'm being insensitive, like I think she knows everyone from the tribe. But what does that mean? A lot of people go missing out here. I'm not sure if it's kind of like Starlight Tours from Canada. And for those of you that don't know, I'll just pass on it. But it was a thing that, came out and then kind of went right under the news radar. Woof. But, I mean, come on, you guys remember James Hendricks, the guy that he was with? Unless, I'm not sure if it's boy or man. I mean, maybe when they mean a boy, they mean someone that's young, Well, it would have something to do with James, right? How do we know that? I look at Carl. Are you okay, man? You've been acting really weird since we got here. I think we're all acting a little different after getting here, don't you think? Carl glances at Jenna. Are we fighting again? Staring at the ash on the ground, something I should have realized earlier suddenly hits me. Wait a minute. That newspaper. It kind of looked like something that came out of the crawl space tubs. What do you mean? I was looking through some artifacts that Carl's family saved from way back when, for that project I was doing. Seems like years ago at this point. I snapped my fingers, and some of the stuff was missing from it, like pages ripped out from Carl's mom's notes that had photocopies of old newspapers. So was that just a clipping from the notes? Maybe? I don't know. But John was a native, so maybe it has to do with him? I think back to the small fox I saw through the window, the band across his forehead. Was that John? So the ghost that ripped out the pages to show you it's in this nightmare world, why didn't he just point them out to you in the real world? I don't really have an answer for that. Good question. Then we wouldn't have to go through this shit right now. Ghost rules? Ghost rules. Raven shrugs. And what if it was our key out? What was it if it was our key out of here? Well, they can't just leave us here, right? I guess we could try the door again. We don't know anything about where we are or what these things are capable of. So, what now? Just sit around and wait for something else to happen? Carl suddenly sighs. Well, I'm gonna look around some more. You guys do whatever you want. Again, I'm taken back by Carl's demeanor. I've never seen him act like this before. It's like he's a different person. Without another word, he turns on his hoof and walks away. Over the next several hours, we search the cabin from top to bottom. I hobble around the ground floor, careful not to look out the window, even when the drumming starts up again at a few points. I check all the shelves, under the chairs and tables, in the stove, in the pantry, between the cracks in the floor and walls. We don't find anything. At some point, I almost topple over from dozing off, and that's when we call off the search. There's some discussion as to where we should sleep, if we should do it in shifts. Jenna suggests she stay downstairs while the rest of us sleep, just in case something else happens. You could be at the top of the stairs, just saying. It's a nice place to, make a joke point, just saying. Carl suggests that I sleep in the bed upstairs because of my leg, and I have to agree with him. Raven stays downstairs with Jenna, making himself comfortable in one of the chairs. As Carl hobbles up the stairs with me on his back, Jenna watches over us the whole way. Man, we must have been here a while. Just saying. We already slept and ate, and then now we're sleeping again. We're probably going to be hungry too. I sit on the bed, watching as Carl moves about the room, looking behind the shelves and under the bed. Carl, I hate to ask again, but are you okay? He looks back at me. Yeah, I'm fine. I just want to make sure everything is safe for you. Thanks. It's just that you seem different, I guess. Carl looks at the ceiling, seemingly thinking. It's difficult to make him out in the darkness. Just like when he had a sheet over his head, I get a weird feeling that who I'm looking at might not be Carl. I think it's just that this has made me grow up. I realize how useless I've been. This is sort of an opportunity for me to actually do something. Help people, you know? Yeah. It sounds nice, but I can't get rid of that nagging feeling that something is off. It's in the way he talks, the way he moves, right down to his facial expressions. I swing my legs gingerly onto the bed and lay back. Carl comes over to sit on the other side. Gonna sleep here too? Yeah. You need me to get around, so I'm gonna be by your side as much as possible. Alright, thanks. As we lay awkwardly on our backs for a moment, Carl suddenly turns inside and pulls me to his chest. I'm surprised and turn instinctively so that he's spooning me. I guess it makes sense after our semi-confession back in the mansion. He nuzzles my neck, but again, the action is weirdly unnatural. Even with his big, warm body next to mine, it takes me a long time to fall asleep. I open my eyes blearily, and blearily I can make out a dark cabin room. My heart sinks again at realizing where I'm at, but it's more subdued this time. Guess I'm getting used to my new life. My mouth is dry, very dry, and I feel the need to find water, or I'm not going back to sleep. Oh, we can drink our own piss. I sit up. Carl's moved back to his side of the bed, at this point, lying on his back, snoring. Quietly, I get out of bed, wincing at how creaky the floorboards are. I make my way down the stairs, eyes just to the point where I can barely make out the ledges. When I reach the ground level, I see that Raven is splayed out on the carpet, snoring as well. I shake my head before moving to the kitchen. Jenna isn't there, and I wonder where she might be at. Was she in another room upstairs? Maybe I just missed her when I was distracted by Raven. Looking around, I see a small cup sitting on the table. I'm almost positive it hasn't been there before, but maybe Raven or Jenna had set it there. Walking over to it, I'm relieved to see that it's filled with what looks like water. Does Chase have the ability to change this world? I pick it up and sniff at it, not really getting a hint of anything. Tentatively, I take a sip, and immediately spit it out. It's sultry, putrid. It tastes like pee. I jump, and some of the liquid splashes to the floor. Gingerly, I set down the cup, looking into the opposite room. Doesn't seem like he's going to be saying it. I'm going to do print screen so I could be like, what is it supposed to be? And reset face, maybe? Time? Okay, we got time. Everything is still in the other room. I can't even hear Raven snoring anymore. This time, I see the wardrobe move, the door specifically. I stare, wide-eyed. Everything falls still again, but I don't dare move. Jenna? I whisper loudly. It wouldn't make sense why she'd be in there, but who else would it be? Ghosts, of course. I'm about to take a step forward, towards the stairs, maybe, or at least wake Raven up, but that's when the small door cracks open. Wait, was Raven not there? Oh, he's there, just not snoring. Can you skip to the next choice? I freeze, all of the fur on my body standing up. James? Words die on my tongue as something long and black slides out from behind the door. It dips down towards the ground, and only does it vaguely take the shape of a foot. Another long black tendril follows, slightly ahead of the first one. When it touches the ground, it takes the shape of a hand, resting flat on the wooden floor. I choke and start to try and back away, but then the door explodes open, and I'm barely able to make out a galloping black shape before it engulfs me. I collapse back on the ground, twisting, trying to scream, but the thing is completely covering and smothering me. I choke and gag, feeling like I'm being suffocated, my arms pinned to my sides, my legs rigid. As I try to yank away from the thing, it feels like something is freed from my mouth, and I'm able to scream. Help! Get it off me! Help! Chase! The surface underneath me becomes soft, the thing on top of me warm. Through bleary eyes, I look up at Carl, just able to make out the curve of his horns. Wait, did we have a nightmare in the nightmare world? Is this Inception? Brown. Carl? I heard movement at the doorway, and I glanced in the direction to find Jenna standing there, hackles raised, teeth bared. Jenna! Before I know what is exactly going on, Jenna sprints across the room and jumps on the bed. Carl doesn't even have time to turn around before she snatches him up by the horns and yanks his head back violently. The ram lets out a choking sound as he's dragged back and thrown to the floor. Jenna jumps off the bed after him. From the sounds of it, she lands on him. What follows is a series of thuds and smacks. Weakly, I pull myself to the foot of the bed, still completely disoriented. I knew it, you motherfucking piece of shit! What I see is Jenna sitting on top of Carl's back, swinging her fists into his head, while the ram tries to cover up. I don't know, if you'd think of any place to hit a ram, I wouldn't think the head would be the place to pick, even if you hit the sides. You haven't changed at all. Jenna, stop! What does she mean? I roll off the bed, confused as to why I'm so weak. Pain shoots up my leg again, but this time I barely notice it. There's something around Jenna, something big and black, like a shadow, making her look much bigger than she actually is. Her fists swing and hit Carl with a force I didn't think she was capable of. Then she grabs Carl by the horns again and yanks back before slamming his face back into the floor. Jenna! I lunge forward, trying to put myself between the two of them. Underneath me, Carl's gone limp. Just like Jenna, there's something black and shadowy around him as well, but it's fading, moving away. Jenna's still trying to get at Carl, reaching around me and snarling in my ear, the sound that makes my fur stand that. Then he's gone. I look to my left and see Jenna being drawn back by a raven, his eyes wide with shock. What are you doing? Jenna struggles in the husky's grasp. I saw him trying to fuck the otter. The otter? Jenna, stop. He was helping me. Raven continues to try and pull Jenna towards the door, but she continues to struggle. I was having a nightmare. Jenna's struggling, losing some of its vigor, but she continues to snarl in Carl's direction. Raven, please get her out of here. The shadow around Jenna seems to shrink, and her face shows some doubt as she stares at the crumpled form of Carl. After a moment, she seems to let the husky lead her from the room, and I hear soothing tones from Raven as he leads her down the stairs. I turn back to Carl, who has his arms around his head, face buried in the ground. Well, I think it's a good time to call it. It's not exactly a scene, but it's a thing. I don't know why we had all these things there. I guess these were choices for... Not the last one, but... No, wait, that was the last one, at least here. Yeah. Was that earlier this year or last year? That would have to be this year, right. Well, that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. So, please comment, cause I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like to grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos to help it grow. And please also help control the pet population. And if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io. It's completed. But if you want to support the people that made this game and are making others, you can go to their Patreon, where it's $3 a month for early access to this 4 other games, not this one, because it's finished. And until next time, let's wait. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. So thanks and see ya.